tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around us, how I wanna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. It's in the power, it's in unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. It's in the dark, can't take my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, we ride the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In my heart in the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. It's in the power, it's in unstoppable track. Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading no light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away. Got a vision in my mind, I'm here to stay. With my crew beside me, we rise like a tide. When the storm gets rough, we ain't gonna hide. Rock and get us swilling, but it won't touch me. Only love around us, how it's gonna be. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's an unstoppable track. In the city lights where dreams collide, we hustle through the night, fire in our stride. Whispers in the dark can't dim my glow. With rhythm in my soul, I'm ready for the show. We break the chains, rewrite the rules. In this concrete jungle where nobody's fools. Unity sings louder than the lies they scheme. In our heart in the struggle, we dare to dream. Keep moving forward, never looking back. The truth's in the power, it's in
My name is Terrence. Whoa, what it do? Okay. Biology major from VCU. Okay. I'm also a chemistry major too.
Okay.
Get 'em. Neurology's what I want to pursue.
Yeah.
Go ahead. My name is Terry.
Yeah.
That's my twin. Oh yeah. VCU's also where I
Okay.
It's therapy, bio, and medicine. Let's get it. Whew. Black excellence.
Okay.
Come on, John.
My name is John.
John.
And these my
Yeah.
friends.
We are.
Strong black
Let's
man.
go.
We know you love that melanin.
Yeah.
Hey, we like the black excellence, man.
My name is Terrence. Whoa, what it do? Okay. Biology.
All right. Hello, everyone. Grand Rising. Thanks for tuning in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your morning wake-up call. So happy Friday, everybody. Okay, so as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. Be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. All right. And so with that all being said, let's see who is in here. All right. Deronda Claudette, Mel is in the house. All Hell Nog, 504 Nola, Nessa G. All right. Let's get ready to get black into it. We the people, just anticipate. Jeff ATL, Leon, Cut the Bullshit, Wayman, Shala V is in the house. All right, Nicole. All right, that crazy beach Aries. Shout out to all my loyal roads and everyone tuned into the Queen. I see you, Alex. All right, me is in the chat. All right. So let's have a brief word from my sponsor at 12 Tribes before we get into it. I see you, Hadassah. All right, here we go.
Do not buy 12 Tribes on Earth hair growth oil and hair magic elixir unless you want super healthy, gorgeous hair that grows. They have a whole line of amazing hair growth products, including hair growth leave-in conditioner spray, hair growth shampoo, hair growth spray, and hair growth butter. I'm starting to sense a theme here. They include quality natural ingredients. They smell amazing, and you can see the results for yourself. So if you're looking for healthy hair growth for your natural or relaxed hair, try 12 Tribes on Earth today.
All right, so with that all being said, don't forget you can purchase 12 Tribes Hair Oil at Etsy.com. Just look for Lisa Crafts, and you can also find it at Walmart.com. And she has a beard oil. Okay, so let's get into it. Everybody hit that like button, and let me just tell you all right now, I just checked the channel, and apparently, you all need to pay attention because apparently ScrewTube just unsubscribed about 8 people. Okay, just unsubscribed about 8 people. I literally saw them do it in real time. Okay, so please double check to make sure you're still subscribed to the channel, and especially if you have not been receiving those notifications. Okay, and so now let's get into it because you all, 29 minutes ago, it was reported that Donald Trump's administration asked appeals court to pause judges' requirement that it make full November SNAP payments. Where is that money? Okay, where is the damn money? Because this is all getting real crazy. Okay, he is just determined, okay, to be defiant. But, I'm not surprised. I figured this would happen, didn't you all? So let's get into it. So the Trump administration is asking a federal appeals court to pause the judge's order that requires the government to fully cover food stamp benefits for tens of millions of Americans in the month of November. Now, the emergency request made Friday morning to the first. See, that's how low down he is. Okay, that's how low down he is. I'm telling y'all, he did this morning. Do y'all hear it? Do y'all hear it? Okay, he did that, found it this morning. Okay, so anyway, let's continue. What a devil. So it was made Friday morning at the First Circuit Court of Appeals. Okay, it comes a day after a federal judge in Rhode Island said the U.S. Department of Agriculture must find additional money to find or to make the payments, rejecting the administration's decision to only make partial payments for the food benefits. Okay, the judge was serious, told them to come out and pay the whole thing and pay it by today. But, like I said, I'm not surprised because I figured Trump was not going to do it. I don't even think Trump has the money. Okay, I don't think he has the money. So that all being said, the Justice Department, which represents the USDA in court, told the Boston-based appeals court that U.S. District Judge John McConnell had overstepped his authority. Wow, really? Isn't that what Trump did? Said he overstepped his authority when he issued his order Thursday afternoon. McConnell's decision, according to DOJ attorneys, they said has stressed the judiciary into the ongoing shutdown negotiations and may well have the effect of extending the lapse in appropriations, exasperating the problem that the court was misguidedly trying to mitigate. So basically, in a nutshell, they're saying, oh, you just made it worse. Okay, the judge didn't know what he was talking about. He did not have the authority. He couldn't make us do what we didn't want to because we do whatever the hell we want because Trump is the king. Didn't you see the Japanese people gave him a whole crown? So we do what we want. Okay? That's what they're basically saying. And you've just made it worse for everybody because now it's going to take even longer for them to get their benefits. And how do you like those apples? Y'all hear this? Do y'all hear this? This is a damn shame. This is a darn shame. Okay? And it's about to be Thanksgiving. People are not going to have food to eat. This unprecedented injunction makes a mockery of the separation of powers. Courts hold neither the power to appropriate nor the power to spend. This is what they said. There is no lawful basis for an order that directs USDA to somehow find $4 billion in the metaphorical couch cushions. Say what now? Did he say metaphorical couch cushions? They don't have that damn money. I'm telling y'all right now, it's obvious. Do y'all not hear this? He's saying, where do you expect us to get the money from? Under the couch cushions? What does that tell you? Because you all know the only time you go looking for money under a couch cushion is when you're flat broke. You can't find nothing else. Okay, this is all crazy. Let me continue. He said there is no lawful basis for an order that directs USDA to somehow find $4 billion in the metaphorical couch cushions. Now, mind you, earlier this week, the USDA provided enough funding to states which administer the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP, to cover partial benefits for November. Now, after McConnell ordered the agency to do so last week, okay, well, he ordered them to do so last week, but that order was also appealed to the First Circuit. Now, McConnell said on Thursday that the administration must provide additional funding by the end of Friday. The administration is asking the appeals court to intervene by 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today. States have been processing the partial food stamp payments on varying timelines. Okay, with several saying beneficiaries may start getting their assistance next week, and others saying it could take a whole lot longer. Illinois said it will begin distributing the funds on Friday to those who were scheduled to get their benefits earlier this month, while others will receive theirs on time. Nearly 42 million Americans receive food stamps, with payments distributed on a staggered schedule throughout the month. This is a darn shame. Trump does not want to pay these people, honey, their money. I'm just questioning what the hell's going on. Okay, I'm just wondering what in the hell's going on. I think they spent that money, y'all. Something ain't right. Okay, something just ain't right. And not to mention, he's trying to make the Democrats bend the knee. So anyway, let's go to a couple of videos and see what they're saying about it online. All right. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. And then we got to talk about Lindsey Halligan, because guess what? Didn't I tell you all that Lindsey Halligan was going to get in trouble? Didn't I tell y'all that? Didn't I tell y'all that Lindsey Halligan, who doesn't know what the hell she's doing, has no business being in the situation or position she's in? Okay, she's only done like insurance law. And she's sitting up here filing indictments on Letitia James and James Comey, or on James Comey. Now, with that all being said, James Comey has filed a motion, and we're going to get into all of it. Okay, please pay attention. Likes up, everyone, please like and share. Here we go. This is a hot mess.
And we have breaking news to start up this hour of the lead. A federal judge ordering the Trump administration to fully fund SNAP, or food stamp benefits, for the 42 million Americans who rely on the food assistance program. In the month of November, amid what is now the longest government shutdown in the history of these United States, the administration has announced that they're going to appeal the ruling. The Trump administration is currently only partially funding the program through November from the nearly $5 billion emergency reserve it has been required to dip into. Let's go to CNN's Caitlin Collins at the White House. Caitlin?
Yeah, Jake, this is quite a ruling from this judge ordering the federal government to make these payments in full when it comes to these SNAP benefits for 42 million Americans who have kind of been left in the middle and the lurch of all of this, as there's been this dispute playing out inside the courtroom from groups that are suing the administration over not paying these benefits during this government shutdown. And something that stood out to me, Jake, is something the judge referenced in this decision today, in this ruling, saying that they must make these SNAP payments by Friday, by tomorrow, where he essentially pointed to something that the president said on Truth Social earlier this week after the administration was ordered to pay about half of the SNAP payments, what they had from that contingency fund that they had. That had created a lot of questions here during the White House briefing, Jake, where Caroline Leavitt was acknowledging the president's post, but essentially saying that they were still complying with the court order. Those were actually talking points that were sent up to Republicans on Capitol Hill. The judge took it very differently and saw it as basically a rebuke of his order to pay those SNAP payments. And he's warning here that if this does not happen, there are millions of Americans, elderly and disabled, who could go hungry without these benefits being paid off in full. And so that's the question here of what the administration is going to do next, Jake, because we are told that they are going to appeal this decision that came down from Judge McConnell today. But we haven't yet heard from the White House or from the Office of Management and Budget on this matter. And certainly it is something that is becoming a crisis point for so many Americans in this moment and in this government shutdown that, Jake, right now, as we are here tonight, yes, there's a lot of conversations happening on Capitol Hill, but right now, still no end in sight to that government shutdown.
All right, Caitlin Collins at the White House with all the latest news. Thank you so much. And don't miss Caitlin on her show, The Source with Caitlin Collins. Tonight, she's going to be joined by Republican Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene. That's tonight at 9 Eastern, only on CNN. Let's bring in Republican Senator Roger Marshall of Kansas. Senator, so what do you make of the decision by the Trump administration to appeal this judge's ruling, the judge ordering the administration to fully fund SNAP benefits this month, and the Trump administration fighting that?
Well, look, Republicans want to get the SNAP benefits, and we've given the Democrats 13 times to vote to do just that. And even tomorrow, they're telling us they're going to vote against SNAP benefits once again. So I think that the Trump organization, the Trump administration, was going to use these $5 billion of emergency funds that were meant for disasters. The judge told them to use those, so they will. But beyond that, then who do we choose? You know, there's only a certain amount of money left. Do we not pay the troops? Do we not buy infant formula? Do we not pay for school lunches? What the real issue is here, my friends across the aisle need to come on back and fund the government again.
The president talks about the cost of living a lot. This is what he said on Fox just yesterday in reference to Tuesday's elections.
We've done so much, energy is way down. Look at energy. We're going to have $2 gasoline. I did that. That brings everything else down. Groceries are way down other than beef. Now, beef is going to come down. We have to do that. The fact is we have prices way down. We have prices down. Our country's doing well.
So inflation, just as a factual matter, it's at its highest rate since January when President Trump took office. Groceries are up across all product categories, not just beef, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics. Americans are paying close to $200 more for the same goods and services this year as they were last year. Are you concerned at all that President Trump is out of touch with how Americans are actually experiencing this economy?
Well, Jake, I certainly think we can do better. I think that we inherited a tough situation, 4 years of cumulative inflation of about 25%. The best news is that wages are outpacing inflation. Food inflation is around 3% right now compared to, again, that 25% in inflation. We want to do better. He's absolutely right that the price of gasoline is down from over $4.50 a gallon to $2.50 a gallon. Interest rates are down, but we've got work to do, and I look forward to doing just that. We need to impact the cost of health care. Housing are things that I'm concerned as well as that the Biden administration left us with some huge problems in those areas. So I'm looking forward to try to tackling the cost of health care, the cost of housing, and others.
I don't have to tell somebody from Kansas that the tariffs are having an effect on prices as well.
Look, I think that they're overstated. I think that we import less than 20% of our goods. The average tariff is going to probably impact the price to people here at home 1 or 2%. It's going to be a one-time hit as well. And at the other hand, we're bringing in more manufacturing jobs as well. So he's used them for good leverage. We shipped our big ships of sorghum today. Yesterday was soybeans. So the tariffs, in my opinion, have worked for good leverage and bringing some of those jobs back home here as well.
Congresswoman Marjorie Taylor Greene, a Republican of Georgia, talked with CNN about the president's focus around Tuesday's election. Take a listen.
I also blame that on who's advising him in the White House. Keeping him on nonstop tours around the world and nonstop meetings with foreign countries' leaders is not America first. It's just not. I think domestic policy should be the most important issue that the president and the Republican-controlled House and Senate are working on, and that showed up in the election on Tuesday.
Do you agree?
Of course not. I think that mission that President Trump was on was the most successful trade trip that it's ever taken. Meanwhile, the proof is in the pudding. Our border's secure. The price of gasoline is down. Like we talked about, our one big beautiful bill, the largest tax cut in American history. There's no tax on tips, overtime, Social Security. We made permanent some of the great things for small business growth as well. Things like no taxes, or there's 1 year tax deductions for things like interest rates, those types of things as well. So I think that one bill had more accomplishment in it than my previous 4 years here as well. So I think there's a time to be abroad, there's a time to be here as well, and the president is accomplishing both of those.
It was a huge tax cut, but a lot of it went to wealthy people. A lot of people, economic experts, describe the One Big Beautiful Bill Act as the greatest transfer in the history of the United States from the lower class to the upper class.
So actually, wealthy people did not get a tax cut. We kept their taxes the same. But certainly people that were on Social Security, overtime, tips, those people certainly were going to see improvement. But the biggest improvement is going to get by the small business tax benefits, where we were taking care of bonus depreciation, the interest like I talked about as well, being able to write off research and development. This is a pro-growth bill, and I think that everyone's going to benefit from it.
The president posted today about ending the filibuster. That seems to be his solution for ending the shutdown, just to get rid of the filibuster. He wrote, quote, "The Democrats will terminate the filibuster in the first hour if and when they assume control or power. Republicans have what the Democrats want. We should do it now and have the greatest 3 years in history." Would you support getting rid of the filibuster?
Look, every day that this shutdown goes on longer, I start leaning that direction. Instead, what I'm going to start pushing for is making the filibuster a constitutional amendment. And if we can get Democrats to support that, that's going to reassure me that they're not going to go nuclear on us next time that they have control of the Senate as well. I think that's the best solution out there. So I'm not there yet to nuke the filibuster, but it has a great place. It has a great way of protecting the minority. Sometime again, Republicans will be in the minority. It'll protect us. Right now, it's protecting Democrats, but I want it to be enshrined in the Constitution.
And we have breaking news to start up this hour of the lead. A federal judge ordering the Trump administration to fully.
Okay, so what do you all think about that? Okay, we're not surprised at the end of the day. We knew what Trump was planning. We knew he was not going to release those funds. Like I told you, he's already spent that money. And this man sitting here saying that the rich people didn't get any tax cuts. Yeah, I definitely don't believe that. Trump is only trying to help the rich. Okay, he's only trying to help the wealthy. At the end of the day, and this is all so fraudulent. Now, Maurice says, Queen, if it wasn't for the Democrats being bullheaded and stubborn, we wouldn't be here. A working agreement was presented in order to reopen the government, but they're refusing. Well, Maurice, let me ask you this, beloved. Why do you think they're refusing? Do you know why they're refusing? Do you know why they're refusing, beloved? Okay, they're refusing because the Republicans are trying to get them to sign, the CR agreeing to allow the Affordable Health Care Act to more than double. Okay, because that contract is going to end real soon, in a few weeks, if I'm not mistaken. And so it's going to skyrocket. Okay, people are not going to be able to afford their health care expenses. And so the Democrats don't want to put people in a bind by them not being able to go to the doctor or hospital if they need to. So that's why they haven't signed it, beloved. Okay. I want you to pay attention because this is not the Democrats' fault. Okay. This is Trump's fault. That's the only person that is responsible for this bullshit. It's Trump, not the Democrats. Okay. I don't agree with most of what the parties do, Republicans or Democrats. At the end of the day, I don't belong to either party. But in this situation right here that we're dealing with, this is not the Democrats. This is the Republicans only, beloved. Okay, they are the ones doing this. They're trying to put the Democrats in a catch-22. Now, rather than saying they're being stubborn, couldn't we say also that the Republicans are being stubborn? Because couldn't they just give the Democrats what they want? They don't want to do that. And that's the problem. Okay, that's the problem. It's not the Democrats, beloved. Now, with that all being said, let's go to a couple of more videos of what people are saying about all of this. So everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance. And then we're going to talk about Lindsey. Then we got to talk about Lindsey. And I, for one, am so thrilled because she's going to have some consequences. That's what y'all pay attention. I don't know why she thought that it was smart, even though Trump's dumb arse told her to do it. But she not only indicted James Comey, and he's giving him hell, but she also did the same thing to Letitia James, and I can't wait to see how she's going to respond. Okay, what she's going to do, she's already been talking smack, but James Comey filed a whole motion, and we're going to go over it because this is all going to backfire on Trump. I promise you.
It never happened in America, said Judge McConnell as he issued a new ruling in the SNAP benefits case. I'm a lawyer in real life. I don't play one on television. The judge in the Rhode Island who is hearing one of the cases filed by organizations to get people SNAP benefits in November has issued another ruling. This is Thursday, November 6th, and he has said that the government must fully fund SNAP benefits. The judge very strongly stated from the bench that he thought what was happening was political, and he pointed to the comments that Trump had made threatening just this week to halt all food stamp payments until the end of the shutdown.
And see, let me tell you all something. It is really in everyone's benefits that Trump loves to talk so much because Trump is a whole idiot, and I know he doesn't know that. He doesn't realize that he's obtuse. All right, and nobody in his cabinet's going to tell him because they're all getting advantages from it, from him being so ignorant. But here's the thing. At the end of the day, the bottom line is Trump has likely done something nefarious, okay, with his cash. And he's going to keep coming up with all these different excuses and doing everything he can. How long is this going to go on? And also, he thinks that because of his power and authority, that he can just dismiss these judges and not do what they say. Now, this judge that they appeal to, if the judge denies their appeal, what do you think Trump's going to do then? You think he's going to go ahead and disperse those benefits? I guarantee you he isn't. He's still not going to do it. Okay, he's still not going to do it. He's going to do whatever the hell he wants.
The judge warned that millions of poor families could go.
Oh, and one more thing. This is what I meant to tell you all. I lost my train of thought. Okay, so another thing is, remember, yesterday I told you all what she's talking about, what she said the judge says that he believes it's political. Okay, and then he saw what Trump posted on Truth Social. Remember, I told you all of that? See, that's why it's in our best interest for Trump to keep running his mouth. Okay, because he lets cats out of the bag. That's what he does. He lets numerous cats out of the bag, okay, because he's so stupid and runs his mouth so much. And so I'm glad that he did that. And now the judge is on to him, because maybe the judge was initially thinking that, there's just no money in the fund or funds for it or whatever. They're saving it for a real disaster. So they say, because isn't hunger a real disaster? I would think. But anyway, so the judge may have just been buying into some of the BS. But when the judge saw that and then the post, okay, and then realized, oh, wait a minute. Yeah, he's just trying to get the Democrats to comply. The judge was like, I'm not going for it. Okay, not going for it.
Hungry in the absence of reliable food aid, and he gave the government until Friday to make the SNAP payments. So that is tomorrow. So will we see SNAP payments tomorrow? Given the administration that we're dealing with, I would be very surprised if there were SNAP payments made tomorrow. I'm very hopeful for all the families out there who are relying on this SNAP payments that they do in fact see SNAP payments, but given the administration we're dealing with, it may not happen. Now, this article goes on to note that the USDA.
We already know what the article says because I already read it. But I want y'all to pay attention because it's all about to get real. Like I told you, the ish is about to go down.
Some really fucked up news. Last night, Trump and JD went on a full force attack on SNAP benefits. Yes, baby, the Trump administration's Justice Department is filing appeal, so y'all can't get y'all full SNAP benefits.
Low down dirty devils. Nicole just gifted 5 memberships to the Queen's channel. Thank you, Nicole, beloved. I appreciate you. Peace, love, and blessings. Now, you all make sure you shout out Nicole, especially those of you who benefit from her gifts, okay? Thank you so much again, beloved.
And when they were asked about the SNAP benefits, JD Vance said it was absurd. And baby, your daddy Trump, he said pertaining to the people on SNAP benefits, all of y'all don't deserve to be on them hoes. He said SNAP benefits weren't created for everybody. Duh, it's for people in need. So let me get this straight. You got money to build a ballroom. You got money to do a fucking parade for your birthday. You got money to build a fucking monument in the image of you, like Hitler did. You got money to make ICE the biggest fucking police department ever in this country. You got money to throw a fucking Great Gatsby Halloween party while people are going hungry. But Americans who need SNAP benefits don't deserve them. This is giving Marie Antoinette, let them eat cake. While people are starving and don't have enough to feed their families, this man is saying that all of y'all are not deserving of food. A basic human right. Food.
Okay, and no lies detected. And that's everything that I already told y'all. But if y'all thought that was bad, honey, you ain't heard nothing yet. Because here's what Trump's doing. I want y'all to pay attention. Okay, because this came across my timeline. All right. I want y'all to get into it. Now, Trump can't feed the 42 million people. He can't give them their SNAP benefits, which the judge has ordered him twice to do. Okay, but here's what he can do. And this was a breaking news moment. Okay, this was a discount alert, is what they called it. But also remember, speaking of discounts, that Trump sent out emails to all the grocery stores and whatnot, telling them that they can't give anybody who gets SNAP benefits discounts or they'll face consequences. Okay, but in the meantime and between time, here's what Trump did secure for y'all. Okay, not that you need it. He likely needs it. That's probably why he did it. But let's talk about it. You see, Trump, let me tell y'all something. Trump announces deal to lower cost of weight loss drugs like Ozempic. Now, this is what he's concerning himself with while people go hungry. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention.
To find the money to fully fund food aid benefits for November. The ruling gives officials until Friday to make the payments through the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program, or SNAP. The order was in response to a challenge from cities and nonprofits complaining that the administration was offering to cover only 65% of the maximum benefit. President Trump says he will need to come up with an alternate plan in case the U.S. Supreme Court rules against his authority to implement sweeping tariffs. Today, the president picked up another participant in a key international agreement and announced a new pricing structure for a very popular medication. Senior White House correspondent Jackie Heinrich is live on the North Lawn with the latest. Good evening, Jackie.
Good evening, Brett. The president often says that tariffs have empowered him to make trade deals and peace deals alike. And today he argued they helped him strike a deal to lower the cost of weight loss drugs as Republicans zero in on winning messages for the midterms.
President Trump.
Now, here's what I want you all to pay attention to, because this is big. Here's what I want you all to pay attention to. Trump is sitting here getting discounts on weight loss drugs, but people are not eating. Okay, aren't the people already going to lose weight? Aren't they already going to be losing weight from lack of food, Trump, which is stupid self? This man has his priorities in all the wrong places. No food for the Americans, his own people, when America's supposed to be first, is the lie that he told. But now he's sitting up here trying to secure deals for weight loss. For weight loss drugs. Please make it all make sense.
I'm taking the reins on affordability messaging after election analysts said Democrats won Tuesday because of it.
Our Thanksgiving this year coming up will cost 25% less than sleepy Joe Biden's. I was angry last night with the Republicans. They say, you don't talk about this stuff. Nobody talks about it. You know, I rely on a question from a reporter to get that out.
Trump announcing new deals drastically lowering the prices of GLP-1 obesity drugs like Ozempic, even bringing reporters back into the room to hear more about the impact after being ushered out when a man in the back fainted.
Americans will lose 135 billion pounds by the midterms.
See, that's what I'm talking about. See the irony in all of this? Do you all see the irony in all of this? This fool sitting up here talking about some darn weight loss drugs. People gonna be losing weight from hunger. Does he care about that? Obviously not. Okay, obviously not. Slimmer waist and smaller bills. That's what they say.
But I don't measure it in pounds. I measure it in saved lives.
Trump says the agreement, like many others, was possible because of his tariff authority, now being debated at the Supreme Court.
The justices expressed some skepticism. What is your plan if they end up making a decision that's not in your favor?
Well, I'd rather discuss that later. I hope we're going to win that case. I think it would be devastating for our country, but I also think that we'll have to develop a Game 2 plan.
He said, I want y'all to listen now. Please pay attention to detail, because that's where the devil always is. And we know Trump's the devil. So what did he just say in response to her question? He said, I'd rather answer that later. He said, but this would be, I think it would be devastating for our country. Now, why would it be devastating for the country if the judge overruled him and told him that he had to pay out those damn benefits and you're not getting this appeal? Well, it would be devastating because he's still not going to give you the SNAP. He's still not going to pay out no matter what the judge says, and he knows it. So that's why it's going to be devastating, because people are going to be going hungry. Okay, I want y'all to pay attention. This man is the devil.
We'll see what happens. Most people tell me we did very well legally.
The Wall Street Journal reading the tea leaves, quote, the Trump team believes courts couldn't stop a future Democratic president from invoking a climate emergency to impose tariffs or do virtually anything else. Trump thinks Democrats may not be in charge for a while if the Senate ditches the filibuster and starts passing laws.
I'd like to see one-day voting.
Not much progress on that, but overseas, better progress enacting the Gaza peace agreement.
I'm flying back to Washington tonight because we're going to announce tonight another country coming into the Abraham Accords tonight.
U.S. officials confirming Kazakhstan will normalize relations with Israel as the region moves toward rebuilding Gaza.
Kazakhstan joining the Abraham Accords is largely seen as symbolic. They've had normal diplomatic relations with Israel.
Okay. This is just awful. This is absolutely awful. This literally is making me sick to my stomach that people are going to have to go through this. This is absolutely crazy. Okay? Now, remember when we first started talking about this whole debacle about the SNAP benefits and the Section 8 possibly being cut and all of that stuff, and I told you all, the only people that I feel sorry for are the elderly, the children, and the disabled. Those who are able to work but who just refuse to, because there's some people that work and they still get SNAP because they don't make a lot of money. But the people who are able to work and just refuse to because all you want to do is pick up SNAP, and then a lot of these people are engaged in fraudulent activities, I don't feel sorry for them. And I'll say it again, but here's what I want y'all to take note of. Okay, here's what I want y'all to take note of. Who are the main people committing all this darn fraud? Who are the main ones committing all this fraud? I'm so glad you asked. Okay. Here they go right here. Here they go right here. Case after case of fraud.
Walked in one by one, some hung their heads, others wore their feelings right there on their t-shirts. Today, the Manatee County Sheriff's Office announced an undercover operation they've been working on for months, resulted in more than 100 arrest warrants and close to 40 arrests.
This is a huge problem, and we're like one of maybe 3 or 4 law enforcement agencies in the state of Florida that have decided to do something about this.
And it has to do with just that. Meal tickets in the form of EBT cards for low-income individuals being fraudulently used. One part of the investigation centered around Gerald Millis, a local restaurant owner who police say purchased EBT cards from people for 50 to 60 cents on the dollar, and then stocked his local Pizza Pros restaurant with food he bought using those cards.
We were able to determine that he used 53 different EBT cards at Sam's Club.
Police say 55 people were also caught illegally selling their EBT cards to undercover detectives.
A couple of them said, "I'm headed to go get some rock cocaine."
A beyond frustrating reality for taxpayers who today learned their hard-earned money is being misused.
Y'all see this? Y'all see this? See, stuff like this, I just want you all to pay attention because, see, this is what I was talking about. Because things like this make it hard for the people who actually need the benefits. See, Trump can use the excuse, and he's already used it. They're already using the excuse that there's so much fraud, that the program is terrible. They need to get rid of it. This is what they've been saying. Okay? When the truth of the matter is, most of the people getting it are not committing fraud. There are, some people that are doing so, but most of these people actually do need it, in my opinion. But that's what they're riding on. They're saying it needs to be stopped because there's too much fraud. Trump said himself out of his own mouth, they're just giving it to everybody. They're just giving it to anybody that wants it. No, they're not. No, they're not. Okay, please sit down somewhere with your lying self. Okay, because they're not just giving it to everybody who wants it. Okay, they're trying to give it to the people who qualify, and some people fraudulently pretend to qualify by lying. Okay, that's how that works. So anyway, I just find it also interesting at the end of the day. And then you saw most of those people committing the fraud didn't look like me, right? Now that's important to note as well, because that's what I've been telling you. But they love to make it look as though we're the face of it. And here's the thing. I find it all interesting because, the bottom line is Trump is trying to start martial law. I told y'all that before. I really think that he knows if people don't get those benefits this month, and especially if they don't get them by next month, what do you think people are going to do? They're going to be out here rioting in the streets. Okay, they're going to be out here rioting and looting in the streets. I already see it coming. Trump's already looting the government and the finances, in my opinion. But nonetheless, when all this starts, that's going to give him what he's been waiting for. And that's an excuse to implement martial law. And y'all do know that when martial law is declared upon a land, martial law can last as long as they want it. It could last for weeks. It could last for months. It could last for years. It has lasted for decades in some cases. Not in the United States, but it absolutely has. And y'all don't think Trump wants to have martial law so he can try to stop the next election so he can stay in office? Remember, he and Mike Johnson said they already had a plan in place. Okay, they said they already had a plan in place. And I want y'all to pay attention, okay? I want y'all to pay attention because this is all so crazy. This is all so crazy. Hold on, beloveds. I'm looking for one more video I wanted to show you all. One more video about the fraud that's going on. Hold on. Somebody posted a picture of Trump wearing a crown. That's the least thing they need to give him. And here's the thing, I want you all to pay attention. Because when he went to Japan and they gave him those golden golf balls and that crown that I showed you all should have been asking yourselves, why the hell did they give him a crown? Why would they give Trump a crown? He's not a king, right? He's a president, not a king. Why would they give him a crown? Well, because Trump wants to be a king, and they know it. And all they were doing was appeasing his dumb self so they can get whatever they want out of him. He's too stupid to realize it. Thinks he's running game on everybody, but it's not. It's not happening. Okay? The only people he's running game on successfully are his silly MAGA cult. Okay? The ones that are still going for his BS, in my opinion. Okay, so I can't find that other video, but I wanted to show it to you all because there was this lady who's the real welfare queen. Okay, she was the one who was really out here doing a whole lot of welfare fraud. Okay, anywho, with that all being said, let's talk about where else Trump's going wrong. Okay, let's talk about it because Lindsey Halligan, they say she keeps stumbling early in her attempt to prosecute Comey on Trump's behalf. In the latest mark against the Trump demanded political prosecution, a judge observed, pop-ups, a judge observed an apparent rush to indict before fully investigating the case. Now, you all know this because I told you all this on yesterday, how the judge went in, okay, and basically excoriated them. So they say Lindsey Halligan, the lead prosecutor of James Comey, faced its latest rebuke Wednesday when a federal judge said the government had taken an indict first, investigate second approach. And it wasn't the first time the judge has cast doubt on the Justice Department's conduct in the case. Okay, so now, with that all being said, Halligan was lawfully appointed. This is what they're saying. Okay, and then but James Comey filed in his motion that she's not. Okay, so let's get into that. Let's get into that motion because here's the thing. Here's the thing of it all. We must prepare for this king shot. Okay, I don't think we're gonna have to. I don't think we're gonna have to. Okay, I just don't think we're gonna have to. Trump's going to jail. Let's just all pray on it in unison. Okay, that Trump goes straight to prison where he belongs for once and for all. Now, but here's the thing. So James Comey filed this motion. I'm gonna pull it up. Likes up, everyone, please, to like and share. Now, I'm not going to read this whole thing. I'm not going to read this whole thing because it's like 50 pages. But we're going to talk about some of this for sure. Okay, I'm going to share my screen. Likes up, everyone, please, like and share. Here we go. Because I told you all this woman was going to get in trouble because here's the thing. If you're filing, if you're filing indictments against people, you're having people indicted on fraudulently obtained charges, trumped up charges, pun intended. There's consequences for that. You can lose your license to practice law. And the judge is already looking at her with a whole side eye. Okay? Mr. Comey devoted, hold on. Now, I know you all probably can't see this very well, but hold on. Because here's what they're talking about. They say Mr. Comey devoted, now this is the statement of facts. Mr. Comey devoted much of his career to government service before becoming a private citizen who vigorously spoke out on public and political issues. From 1987 to 2005, he spent all but 3 years serving at the DOJ. First as an assistant United States attorney, later as United States attorney, and eventually as deputy attorney general under President George W. Bush. Later, President Barack Obama nominated Mr. Comey to serve as director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation, the FBI. So on July the 29th of 2013, the Senate confirmed Mr. Comey by a vote of 93-1. Okay? Now, with that all being said, FBI Director, Mr. Comey oversaw the FBI's daily operations. Okay, so now we're going to skip past some of that and get into where he got into with Trump. So on May the 9th of 2017, President Trump fired Mr. Comey as FBI director. Thereafter, various prosecutors at the DOJ and the FBI investigated whether Mr. Comey had committed wrongdoing during his tenure as FBI director. And all investigations concluded with no charges against him. Okay, so in August of 2017, the DOJ and the FBI initiated Arctic Haze, an investigation into whether Mr. Comey had illegally disclosed classified information to the news media through Daniel Richman, a Columbia Law School professor and former FBI special government employee. Now, so there's a memorandum on closing Arctic Haze investigation. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, that's where it all went bad. Okay, that's where it all started. Now, as a private citizen, Mr. Comey has vigorously and prominently exercised his First Amendment right to criticize President Trump. In response, President Trump has repeatedly attacked and threatened Mr. Comey. Now, that pattern began soon after Mr. Comey's May 2017 termination as FBI director and has continued up until and even after the indictment in this case. So in April of 2018, news accounts highlighted the upcoming publication of Mr. Comey's book. Okay, A Higher Loyalty is the name of it. Now, on April the 15th, ABC News released portions of an interview with Mr. Comey in which he compared President Trump to a New York mafia boss. Interesting, because that's exactly what it reminds me of. I keep telling you all that. Okay, calling him untethered to truth, unethical, and morally unfit to be president. Okay, and no lies detected. Now, Mr. Comey also described President Trump as a person who sees moral equivalence in Charlottesville, who talks about and treats women like they're pieces of meat. Okay, no lies detected there either. And who lies constantly about matters big and small. Now, that same month, President Trump posted numerous tweets displaying his personal animus toward Mr. Comey. Now, he called Mr. Comey a proven leaker and liar. The nerve of him to call anybody a liar. Okay, please pay attention. And a weak and untruthful slime ball. The nerve of him to call anybody that as well. And stated that Mr. Comey should be prosecuted. And he shouldn't. Donald J. Trump, okay, is a piece of work. Please pay attention. Now, 5 days after ABC released the interview with Mr. Comey, President Trump expressed frustration that shady James Comey can leak and lie and make lots of money from a third-rate book. That's what he said. That should never have been written. Donald J. Trump, okay, anyway, that's nothing. So a week later, President Trump accused Mr. Comey of illegally leaking classified information and stated that Mr. Comey was either very sick or very dumb. Now, I want you all to pay attention, because here's the thing. And I see what this is. It was kind of throwing me off. So when they're having these, having Trump's name, Donald J. Trump, at Donald J. Trump, okay, X, and the dates, they're showing, and the times even. So they're showing, and they even post a link to his social media accounts where he's been posting all this stuff. Okay, because I told y'all Trump is a fool all over social media, him and his entire cabinet, in my opinion, because Kash Patel does the same thing, and he's a whole FBI director. So yeah, they're posting, that's where they're getting this stuff from that Trump was saying, because it all was posted on his social media with his dumb self. He's going to be his own undoing. Okay, and thankfully so. Just keep waiting. We have to be patient. So later that year, Mr. Comey spoke out against President Trump in connection with his actions in office. For instance, after President Trump gave remarks crediting Vladimir Putin's denials of Russian election interference, Mr. Comey tweeted saying, "This was the day an American president stood on foreign soil next to a murderous, lying thug and refused to back his own country." Well, no shock there, because when does he ever? Okay, when does he ever? So anyway, and shortly before the 2018 midterm elections, Mr. Comey posted a tweet maintaining that the United States should be a shining light for the world, modeling a democracy that values truth, and that Trump is dimming that light. Oh yes, he absolutely is. Okay, that's exactly what he's doing. Now, around this time, President Trump began exploring the possibility of using his official powers to retaliate against Mr. Comey. Now, General John F. Kelly, President Trump's chief of staff from July of 2017 through December of 2018, has publicly stated that President Trump expressed a desire to deploy the FBI, DOJ, and Internal Revenue Services, known as the IRS, against his critics, including Mr. Comey. All right? This is all so nefarious. Please pay attention. Now, goes on to say, so hold on. Where am I? So when General Kelly opposed deploying the IRS against Mr. Comey, he recalled President Trump stating that Mr. Comey was writing negatively about him and that he didn't want Comey making money. So he wants to stop his bag, okay? Similarly, in July of 2018, the White House press secretary announced that President Trump was exploring stripping John Bremen, the former director of the Central Intelligence Agency known as the CIA, of his security clearance in response to Mr. Bremen's criticisms of the president. So this is all so crazy. I want y'all to pay attention. Think I'm going to stop right here, but you all can pretty much see where this is going, right? You all can see where this is going. Hold on, let me read a couple more, maybe a couple more pages. So leading up to the 2020 presidential election, Mr. Comey publicly advocated against Trump's re-election. Mr. Comey urged Americans to get off the couch and vote because President Trump's tenure had been an attack on our values. Well, I definitely don't think that's a lie, because Trump doesn't have any values, quite frankly. Never has and never will. So he observed that while Russia is engaged in efforts to undermine all manner of American institutions, President Trump tweets lies about those institutions nearly every day. He also authored a Washington Post op-ed maintaining that that if Trump-style justice becomes our tradition, nobody is safe, and urging election of a president who will reflect the core values of honesty and decency that are the lifeblood of our nation and its institutions. Okay, so do y'all hear this? Nicole says the government system is a trap and another form of slavery. This is intentional. Well, you know what, beloved? I'm glad you said that, because it absolutely is. Okay, it absolutely is. At the end of the day, it seems like they want to take us all the way back to slavery, but not just us, other people too. You see, and I feel like some of these racist people who were all for Trump, thinking he's going to make everybody else's life miserable, but not theirs, now they're seeing that he don't give a damn about them either. Okay, he absolutely does not give a darn about any of them, period. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, let's continue. Please. Okay, so anyway, goes on to say, President Trump tweets lies about those institutions nearly every day. He also authored the Washington Post. Okay, I read all of that. Okay, so if Trump-style justice becomes the norm, nobody is safe. Now, that was in the Washington Post, August 25th of 2020. So in turn, President Trump responded by retweeting attacks, calling Mr. Comey a corrupt piece of garbage, filth, a disgraced liar, okay, and leaker, and a weasel who should be in jail. This is also crazy that he said all of these things that clearly are what he is. Okay, these things all describe him to a thing. And then here's the thing. He's worried about somebody talking about him, right? He's worried about somebody saying things about him, but at the end of the day, hasn't he said a whole lot of nasty things, even worse than what he's accusing people of saying about him? You see how Trump is such a hypocrite? Just makes no sense at all. But anyway, so and then he even wrote an op-ed about Mr. Comey. But this man can't say anything about you. Like, please sit down somewhere. Okay, so during the Biden presidency, Mr. Trump's attacks on Mr. Comey were sporadic until 2024, when Mr. Comey publicly warned during the election campaign that a second Trump term would have serious implications for the Justice Department and the FBI because Trump is coming for those institutions. So anyway, with that all being said, listen, I'm going to stop right here. What is this? Hold on. The next day, President Trump publicly posted a statement. Oh, let me read this statement right here. I think this is the statement he posted about Bondi, basically throwing her under the bus. Okay, President Trump's efforts to prosecute Mr. Comey thus face two significant obstacles. Number one, there was insufficient evidence of a crime, despite the president's repeated statements to the contrary. Number two, career and appointed prosecutors following established DOJ policy were not willing to proceed with the prosecution, okay, in the absence of sufficient evidence. And that's why Lindsey is in trouble, or she's going to be real soon. President Trump sought to address the second hurdle with urgency. Now, the Trump administration reportedly had been pressuring interim U.S. Attorney Eric Seibert, whom President Trump had nominated to the permanent post of U.S. Attorney, and who had been unanimously appointed to continue as interim U.S. Attorney by the judge in this district to indict Mr. Comey, among others. So President Trump told reporters in the Oval Office that he wanted Mr. Seibert out. Mr. Seibert resigned on September the 19th of 2025. Remember, I reported that because the man said there was no viable evidence to even indict Mr. Comey. And he wasn't going to indict him just because Trump said on trumped up evidence, because he's not stupid like Lindsey Halligan, who's going to be in big trouble. Okay? Now, the DOJ then fired First Assistant U.S. Attorney Maya Song. Okay. Now, the next day, President Trump publicly posted a statement on social media explicitly pressing the Attorney General to prosecute Mr. Comey, Attorney General James and Senator Adam Schiff. Okay, and here's what the post said. It says, Pam, I have reviewed over 30 statements and posts saying that essentially same old story as last time, all talk and no action. Nothing is being done. What about Comey, Adams, Shifty Schiff, Letitia? They're all guilty as hell, but nothing's going to be done. Then we almost put in a Democrat-supported U.S. attorney in Virginia with a really bad Republican post or Republican past. Okay, a woke rhino who was never going to do his job. That's why two of the worst Dem senators pushed him so hard. He even lied to the media and said he quit and that we had no case. No, I fired him. And that was a great case. And many lawyers and legal pundits say so. Lindsey Halligan is a really good lawyer and likes you a lot. We can't delay any longer. It's killing our reputation and credibility. Trump, your reputation has been killed, okay, decades ago, and you've never had any credibility. I'm sorry, you didn't get the memo. They impeached me twice and indicted me 5 times over nothing. Justice must be served now. Signed, President DJT. Okay, so now we see why he's all mad, butthurt, been out of shape about this man. Okay. At the end of the day, having fraudulent charges pressed and all of this is going to be big problems for little Miss Lindsey. And here's why. Because for one, James Comey, in his motion, he's asking basically for the judge to just throw it out, throw out the indictment because just to dismiss it, because he basically states that she's not legally in that position. Okay? That she's not legally in that position because, for one, she's not qualified. Okay? She's never, prosecuted any cases like this. She's only done insurance claims. Okay? So that's all crazy. Jay Gray says she filed that indictment days within taking the position against Comey, who has been practicing law while she was in grade school. Exactly. Okay, exactly, beloved. I need to cut this heat off in a second before I roast up here. But no, here's the thing. This isn't the only problem for Lindsey. Lindsey has obviously told some lies. Now, I want you all to pay attention because here's why. She was in the grand jury, or she went before the grand jury to present her case. Remember, I told you all that there's a running saying, a quote amongst prosecutors that you can indict a ham sandwich because you literally can indict anybody for anything if you really want to. And here's why. Because when the prosecutor goes in there to present their case, there's no defense. Okay, the defendant doesn't get to come in there and speak for themselves. The defense's counsel doesn't get to come in there. The judge isn't even in there. Okay? So she goes in there and she's talking to the grand jury and everything is secretive. So who knows what the hell she said in there? Who knows what really transpired, what went down? She could have gone in there and lied because here's the thing. If she went in there with the evidence that she had, she wouldn't have had an indictment. We should know that because that's why the other prosecutor didn't want to go forward because there was no evidence. The two witnesses they had corroborated what Comey said. Okay? He didn't lie before Congress. Okay, he wasn't holding on to classified documents or any of that stuff. But you know what? You know who was holding on to classified documents? Trump was holding on to classified documents. That's one of the reasons that he had all that trouble. Y'all don't remember that? At Mar-a-Lago, he had a room full of classified documents that he took when he left office. But he's talking about somebody else. So the bottom line is this. Lindsey Halligan has obviously gone before the grand jury and probably lied. She probably lied because, like I said, the two witnesses corroborated what Comey said. So where is she getting evidence to have this man indicted by a grand jury? She had to have shown or told them something, and it had to be lies because there was no real evidence against this man. And so guess what? Now the judge is on to her and Trump. So the judge has ordered Lindsey to basically give him all of the transcripts from the grand jury. The judge told her he wants those transcripts, but guess what? She didn't give the judge the transcripts, okay? That's what she didn't do. She didn't give the judge those transcripts. She just gave him a few of them, basically. That's what she did. She basically just gave him a few pieces of paper, not the whole thing. All of the main information was left out. And so now the judge is really suspicious. He's like, Lindsey, what do you think this is? I want all of the receipts. I want all of the paperwork. Okay? And he gave her a deadline to give it to her or to give it to him. Okay? So, like I said, this woman's going to be in some trouble and Trump's going to definitely throw her under the bus. Okay, he's not going to take the fall. He's going to let her take it. And see, that's why I knew in the beginning, I said, Lord, if this woman has any sense, okay, if she has a brain the size of a mustard seed, she should know not to do what Trump is telling her to do. She should know that if she goes in there and starts investigating and cannot find any evidence, leave it alone. But no, she did exactly what the judge said she did. The judge says that she went in there and basically said that she indicted before investigating. So she just came from day one when Trump hired her. She just went in there and had this man indicted, him and Letitia James, like a whole damn fool. Didn't bother to conduct a serious investigation to try to find out if there was actually any viable evidence. Just went on Trump's word. Didn't she wonder why Seibert resigned? Why Trump wanted him gone? I guess not. I guess not. And you know, at the end of the day, Blondie, aka Bondi, yeah, she's likely going to be in some trouble too about all this. Okay, she's likely gonna be in some trouble too. Okay, please pay attention. This is all just crazy as hell. And so anyway, nobody's getting their SNAP benefits. Trump, Bondi, and Halligan, they all need to be arrested. At the very least, Blondie and Halligan need to lose their licenses to practice law. Okay, that's what they need to do at the very least. Barbara said, where's our SNAP? We paid into this sick system. We the people paying for Trump, not turning over those receipts. Yeah, exactly. Exactly, beloved. Deidre says she can't do the judge like the insurance companies do their insured, get over and ignore. Right. Exactly. So anyway, with that all been said, I find it interesting. Okay, so now, hold on, what is this? Okay, so now let's talk about Gayle King. Did you all hear? And I just want to know you all's thoughts on this. Because Gayle King interviewed Zanaya, I think that's her name. She's an AI singer. And I can't support AI singers. I'm sorry. When you got real people out here doing real work, no, I can't go for that. But anyway, Gayle King told her, you can't sing. Just told her straight to her face, you can't sing. Do you all think that AI singers, do you all think AI singers should be making the same money or be given, record deals or any of the things that real people are doing? Okay. Do y'all think so? Because I don't. And mind you, she's a writer. I don't think she can sing, but she's an AI writer. But here's the thing. So am I. So am I. I make songs on Udio all the time. Y'all hear them every day. But the bottom line is I'm not trying to get paid for it. Okay. Please sit down somewhere. This is all nefarious. Okay, so let's get into it. Likes up, everyone. Please like and share. Thank you in advance. AI is coming for everyone.
Is a real video.
Hold on, I'm going to fast forward because I don't want any copyright issues. Scroll past the music.
Challenge is what we're used to. You're going to get strong reactions behind it. And I just feel like AI is the new era that we're in. And I look at it as a tool, as an instrument. Utilize it. You've been putting in work.
Not going to create AI paintings and sell them, taking up space from up-and-coming painters. What do you say to that? Because I hear that and I understand that criticism.
Everyone is entitled to their own opinion. Technology is evolving. Everybody have different ways of putting in work to get to where they're at. I don't feel a way about it. I still love Kalani music. I still listen to her every day.
There was also some controversy because people thought, okay, if she's an AI singer, what if it isn't a black woman? What if it's, for instance, a white man could take this and do this?
Yeah, I heard that a lot.
Yeah, would that be okay? Would that be okay?
I mean, if they created it.
But it seems to open the door that way, or a black person pretending to be a white rocker, you know, and they're not.
Right.
I could see why people could be offended and worried about that.
Definitely.
Yeah, people should be offended and worried about that because you can be anybody with AI and you can sing in any voice and everything else. Okay. Hold on. Let me just prove my point. Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production.
Haze on the corner, they talking real loud. Spreading on light, trying to bring me down. Enemies lurking, but I won't back away.
Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production. Another Queen Ahmadiyyah production. Okay, did y'all hear that? So that crazy bitch Eric said, that's my jam, queen. Okay. Nene said Taylor Swift sounds like an AI singer to me. Okay, I don't listen to her. I don't really know. But I just want y'all to pay attention because anybody could do it. So why are people getting paid for that? You should not be able. Okay, one box said they can do it too. Okay. So I'm just saying you should not be getting compensated the same as people that are really doing it. Okay, like please. Exactly. Songwriter Sonny said those people aren't real. No, they're not. You thought they were? Songwriter Sonny, tell me you're lying. You thought those people were real? No. My God, are you serious? Hold on. Say, Queen, I thought that was you. Girl, you thought that was me? I told y'all. I literally told y'all. You must have missed the episodes, honey. But I told y'all that I made those songs on Udio. Now, the rap songs are me. Don't get it twisted. You can tell that's my voice. My songs that I put at the beginning with me rapping, gold all in my skin. Those are me. But what I'm saying is haters on the corner, they talking real loud. Yeah, that's not me. Okay, that's AI. The currency that you all just heard, the guy rapping, I made that. Okay, I'm just saying. Cheryl said you have the best intro. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Okay, thank you. So with that all being said, that crazy bitch Eric said you should get paid, Queen, if she is. Well, you might be right? You might be right, beloved. Now let's continue because I want to hear this.
Do you see that?
I do.
She keeps playing this music. Let me skip past.
Jonas Brothers,
Okay.
Sheryl Crow, Brothers Osborne, the list goes on and on and on. But when you listen to what she's done, the music does sound good.
Yeah.
It does.
I would say, though, that, and I'm happy for her. I'm happy that she's building a career out of this. It sounds like if she wanted to be a songwriter and provide songs to artists on that list, that would be an interesting career for her. But I think that the company, in the statement that they released, gives me a sign of what's to come. Eventually, they're not going to need those artists because they're going to say, I can just generate it using artificial intelligence. I think this is a slippery slope for the industry. People connect with artists who are real people. Yeah. She's a real person, but the music came from a computer.
Yeah, but you can't deny to me that the lyrics are amazing.
Right, but if you're a record company, you're going to be able to do the same thing. I could be a record executive and not have her at all. I can just go into Sono myself and create hits. But
now here's the thing. Here's the thing, beloveds. Danger said, when the queen spits her own. Thank you, beloved. I appreciate you. Okay, so listen. Nene said, once I realize it's AI, I'm out. Here's the thing, though. Now, if somebody is a songwriter, most songwriters can sing. Okay, so when they write music, they sing the songs and the melody or whatever, and then they pass it on, sell it to someone else who's an actual artist who sings. It's like ghostwriting. But, with the rappers, but with AI, he's saying that you can just get AI to write the lyrics. Yeah, you can. But in my opinion, the lyrics are better when they come from you. See, for the songs that I do on AI, I write my own lyrics. Okay, just like I do with my rap songs. So I can write music. But if you're somebody who can't write music, you can get AI to generate the lyrics. And to me, the generated lyrics don't usually sound so great. I've heard a few of them on TikTok. Okay? I've heard a few of them on TikTok. The generated lyrics usually don't sound that great to me. Now, that's just my opinion. Era says AI singers can be holograms on tour. Okay, let's continue. I think I skipped past the part where Gayle King told her she couldn't sing.
Vlad, you can speak
People
to this
always
because
want a real
you're the
person,
musician
though. Yeah.
out of us. Sometimes, artists are sued because of similarities, whether it's in the sound of the rhythm or the tonality of the vocal. AI can produce stuff, but there are some subtle hints of things I've heard before. Doesn't that open themselves up for possible lawsuits?
Potentially, I think at the end of the day, the fact that this is music that's been generated by a computer, the lyrics are real and they are heartfelt and they come from her.
The lyrics are real and the music is good.
But I think it's a slippery slope.
You know, she's 31 years old from this small town in Mississippi who owns her own printing business that she says she will continue to do. I'm not sure about that, Zanaya, but she's going to continue to own her own printing business. And she just loves the music. And guys, she just learned this technology 4 months ago.
Yeah, it don't take long.
Get to the money, honey. Do your thing.
It doesn't take long at all. It doesn't take long to learn it all. Like I learned it instantly, like when I first got on there. But here's the thing. And then also just for those of you who listen to my music, you know you can find my music on all streaming platforms, right? I'm talking about me actually rapping, not the AI music, but you can find my music on all streaming platforms. Okay, all of my own personal music. But with that all being said, so it sounds like what Zanaya is doing is writing the lyrics and then getting AI to generate the vocals because she can't sing. And so then when she has that done, I don't know because I haven't been following her. I'm just wondering if she's putting those songs out herself, streaming them and getting the money, or is she selling those songs? Is she trying to sell some of them to actual artists? I think she's just been streaming them and making money like that. But you know, at the end of the day, I know some people probably think that's not fair, but people are going to be doing it. People are already doing it. She's not the only one. She's probably just the one that has come to everybody's attention because she's had such success with it. Okay, she's had a lot of success with it. Okay. Songwriter Sonny said, we read music. Most vocalists cannot read music arrangements. Now, that's true. Now, I can read music because I play the piano. I took piano lessons when I was a kid, learned to play the piano, so I can read music. But you're right, some people can't. Oh, wait a minute. Global Urban Media said auto-tune exists. No, you're right. You're absolutely right. Okay, now there is a thought. So really, we can't go in on her because people have been using auto tunes for years. And that's cheating too, really. Okay, that's cheating too. So Elbert said Hollywood is in trouble. Okay. This is all a hot mess. Global Urban Media says, aren't artists using auto tune and making money? Simply put them in different categories. You're right, beloved. I didn't even think about that. You're absolutely right. And then when you further think about it, if she's writing the lyrics, she is an actual songwriter. If she's writing the lyrics, she is an actual songwriter. I'm a songwriter too and a rapper, but I'm just saying she's a songwriter. So she may, if she's not already doing it, use AI vocals to sing her lyrics and then sell them to people. Because I think right now she's probably streaming the songs and getting paid for that. But she can do both, really. She could do both, really. Okay. Global Urban Media said, and you should too. You're right. I should too, beloved. I could use the extra money. I absolutely could use the extra money. Thank you, beloved. Okay, so Global Urban Media said everyone can't do what you both do. You know what? You're right. You're absolutely right, beloved. Don't give the queen ideas. Okay, Jeff ATL said actually auto-tune started in 2004. It's been out that long. Yikes, I didn't know it. Perplex said I respect the hustle. Okay? You got to do what you got to do. Trump's out here just making the economy bad for everybody. We all got to learn to grip. We all got to start making a grip. Elbert said, is AI making the music too? Yeah, it does. It can make the music. It's just whatever you want it to do. If you want it to, make the entire song, including the lyrics, you can do that. But if you want to write your own lyrics, now y'all notice, I want you all to pay attention because how do you know I write my own lyrics? It's because I implement things. Well, we know with my rap songs, I write the lyrics, but I'm saying with my AI generated music, I write the lyrics because I'm literally talking about y'all in the lyrics, right? I'm talking about my haters. I mentioned the royals. I did all that on purpose so y'all know that I wrote it. Please pay attention. Okay, so I literally talk about the royals and all of that. And, but anyway, in all career fields, evolution will happen, adapt and pivot. I love that, Global Urban Media. I actually love that. That is a very good idea. And you're right. That's good advice. Okay. T. Grant says Roger Troutman did Computer Love with auto-tune. You're absolutely right. That was a synthesizer, but it's really the same thing, right? Sounds the same. Yeah. They called that a synthesizer back then. Okay, so anyway, with that all being said, listen, I'm about to conclude this broadcast. Y'all know I love y'all, but the queen has to go because I'm coming back later. And when I come back later, oh, we got to talk about this because there's something real nefarious going on that's happening in the Black community that you all need to know, ladies, especially. Okay, there's something going on in the Black community that could be potentially dangerous for some people who look like me. So you're going to want to tune in. And let me remind you again, beloveds, that ScrewTube is unsubscribing people. I literally saw them unsubscribe people this morning before I started the broadcast. Okay, about 8 people. To be exact. So don't let that be you is all I'm saying. Okay. And also, don't forget, for those of you who have memberships, specifically the 5 people that Nicole just gifted memberships to. Thank you again, Nicole, beloved. But for those of you who have memberships, don't forget that on Sundays it's true crime. So I do a members only true crime live. Okay. So make sure you tune in for that. Okay, Nicole said, I'm tuning in, Queen. Thank you, beloved, and thank you for being a member for so long. Okay, for about 17 months, if I'm not mistaken. Nicole said, that's because we calling out Trump dusty ass. Okay, exactly. Okay, so anyway, I love you all to life. I hope you all enjoy your strong end, not the weekend, leaving you in a weakened state of mind. Okay, each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember, beloveds, to keep the Most High first in your lives. Until next time. Peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor.
Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunsa. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now. That's See right. A bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy. I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got